Okay, are we all set? Shall we proceed? Okay then. Okay, so let's continue. So again, arrays, right? Arrays is pending. Java arrays. Yesterday we have discussed about something like how to do the linear search, isn't it? And how to do the binary search. Okay, so you need to keep one thing. You need to keep one thing in mind before even proceeding with the binary search. You can approach binary search only when the array is sorted. Okay, only when the array is sorted in the ascending order, or it could be in the descending order, but you need to write a logic for that. But our example yesterday, the example that we had discussed was talking about the array that was the sorted one in the ascending order. Okay, so this binary search will work only if the array is a sorted one, right? So if you go for the linear search, for in the worst case, if the size of the array is n, okay, so it has to complete the n comparisons in the worst case. Okay, in the worst case, you will be finding a target value which is not present in the array, but still it has to go through the n iterations, right? Linear search, it has to check each and every value or each and every index number, and after checking all the index numbers, it will come to a conclusion that the target value is not found. Okay, if the size of the array is 1 crore, okay, and if you are giving a target, if you are giving a target like target value something like 22, which is not available in the size of the array, it has to still do what? It has to search all the indexes, right? Then it is going to come to a conclusion that the value is not available. Time complexity is more. Okay, so in the core Java level, you don't need to worry about the time complexity. You can imagine this like or you can imagine this like the number of iterations that it is going to take. Okay, and if you do the same thing with the binary search, okay, the time complexity is going to be what? Log of n. Big of log of n. Okay, you can substitute that value, you can do the logarithms, and you can able to identify number of iterations that it is going to take while searching a specific number. Please ensure that the n is the size of the array, right? The difference between the day and the night. Okay, so linear search is something like it is easy to code, but the system is going to take a lot of time. But binary search is a little tricky to code. Okay, not even a tricky thing. If you do some practice, you will get this. Okay, try to repeat my extra days class, you will get this for sure. Okay, so we have done so a lot of problems on Java arrays. So today we are going to see how to utilize the arrays concept for the Java objects. So we will talk about the real-time utilization where you can use arrays in the real-time application. Okay, for example, to understand it, I want to take something like okay, let me take the paint screen. For example, let us say that if you're opening a startup company, okay, you're doing what? You're opening a startup company. So just imagine that this is a startup company, and you are hiring some employees. You're doing what? You're hiring some employees. Okay, and you need to design an applications to maintain your employee records. Okay, you want to hire some employees. Okay, so this is first employee, this is second employee, this is third employee, and you know what, and this is fourth employee. Okay, since it's a startup company, in the beginning you just want to hire only 5 employees. Okay, you also need to maintain some records. Okay, you have decided to maintain some records. Okay, these are the number of employees. Totally 5 employees are there. Okay, let me name these employees as E1. Okay, so startup ideas are always good. Once after completing your education, you can also start a company. Okay? So you have 5 employees, you are recruiting or you are appointing or you are hiring 5 employees, E1, E2, E3, E4 and E5, and you are the boss. Okay, so in the olden days, before the computer century, for the computer evolution, all the records of the employees, okay, in the legacy way, how the details will be stored in the form of what? The form of records or in the form of the paper, right? In the form of all the information will be stored in the form of the paper, okay, in the printed format, or the information will be stored in the typed format. Okay, you write down the things of the employee, each and every employee record. Okay, now this is the computer era, and you want to create an application. You want to create an application, and you will log in inside the application, and you use Java program. Okay, and by using the Java program, you want to store the records of each and every employee. How many employees are there? 5 employees. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you want to store each and every data. What data you would like to store? You would like to store the information like the employee name, okay, employee salary, okay, employee department, right? You want to, for the time being, you just want to store these three information, okay, and this is you are the owner, and you have recruited 5 employees, and you have done what? You have just opened the startup company, and by using the Java program, we need to store the details of the employees. What details you want to store? You want to store the name of the employee, you want to store the salary of the employee, and you want to, or you also want to store the department of the employee. How can we code this? Okay, for this, simply, ideally, I can create a class by the name of what? Employee. Yes or no? Okay, I can create a class by the name of employee. Okay, so what are the required information that I need to place? Okay, so the information, the data that I want to store can be stored in the form of properties. Yes or no? So I am preferring to store three information: name, salary, department, right? So name, salary, department. Okay, this could be the variable names. This could be the variable names. Okay, according to the Java naming conventions, the variable's name can be the meaningful variable name, but you should specify the data type. Yes or no? Name is what? Name is something like the data will be in the form of the string. Salary, the data will be in the form of double. Department, again, the value is going to be the form of string. Yes or no? So data type is string. Okay, in the encapsulation topic, we have discussed what? When you are defining the properties, we have to ensure that all the properties should be having an access modifier, and it has to be strictly private. Private. Okay, private. So these are the information that we have to store. So these are the properties or variables, I can say. Okay, this is how you can do the coding part. Okay, so what I want to do, so I want to appoint how many employees? I want to appoint 5 employees in the runtime. In the runtime, I want to appoint. Okay, so to initialize the values to the instance variables, can I say that all these variables are instance variables? Okay, to initialize the values to these instance variables, I need to use what? The constructor, right? So these are the things that we have already discussed. Okay, you just need to recap, that's it. So I need to use the constructor. I am generating the constructor by using this Eclipse editor. Okay, constructor has been created. Okay, so I also need what? Okay, let me write it down here. Constructor to initialize the instance variables. Okay, next is the next thing what I need to do. The next step is I can also use getters and setters. How to generate getters and setters? Right click, source, generate getters and setters, select all the fields and click on generate. Okay, so we have constructors. Typically constructor and the setters, they do the same thing. So they are used to initialize the values in the runtime to the respective fields of the particular class, right? So far good. Okay, so application has been created. Okay, now what is happening behind the scenes? Okay, so these 5 persons, E1, E2, E3, E4, E5, okay, these are the employees. Okay, they become employees. Okay, so what you are trying to do, you are collecting each and every employee information. Okay, you are calling the first person, okay, and he is talking to you. Okay, you want to collect this information, you want to collect the information of the first person. Okay, how can you collect the information? Very simple, go back to the code. Okay, this is the employee class. Okay, so I need the driver class. I need the main method. For that, I have already created a class called driver class. Okay, so in the main method, you are going to collect the information. How the information could be collected? Okay, so you have invited what? You have invited the first employee, E1. So this person is what? The name of the person that is standing in front of you. Okay, so is E1 and is giving you the details. What it is giving? He says, my name is so and so, my salary is my name is so and so, and I am expecting so and so salary, and I'm willing to work in the specific domain. Okay, so this could be written like employee E1 equal to new employee. So I am calling the employee constructor, which is expecting 3 fields. What are the fields that it is expecting? Okay, first field is name, second field is salary, third field is department. So you are going to collect all this information, right? The name could be what? Let me take it as Ratna. The salary is in the form of double data type. So let the salary be 1 lakh. Okay. And the department is what? The software developer. Right. So the details has been collected successfully by from the employee one. Okay. Likewise, you will be collecting all the information from the respective employees. Next one is employee 2. Right? So you have collected the information from the E1, employee 1. So you want to collect the information from the employee 2, and you want to store somewhere in the records. Likewise, you want to collect the information from the employee 3, and you want to store somewhere in the records, and employee 4 and employee 5. So we have 5 employees, isn't it? Right? So let me do that really quick. So employee 1 has given his information, and so employee 2, okay, and employee 3, okay, and employee 4, okay, and employee 5. Okay. Employee 1 is name of the employee 1 is Ratna, name of the employee 2 is what? Jyoti. Okay, Jyoti is receiving 2 lakhs. Okay, and the department is system. Okay, and E3 the employee 3 is you just collecting the information by using what? By using the constructor. Okay, you are setting the values that you are collecting from the which has been collected, which is being collected from the employees. Okay. Shashwant salary is 1,50,000. Okay, Shashwant, what, senior software developer. Okay. Developer, and we have what? We have Samyukta. Okay. Salary of Samyukta is 1 lakh, and she is a junior software developer. Okay, and we have what? Who else we have? We have Vijay Khan. Okay, he is getting 50,000, and he's from HR department. Okay, so far so good. So what I have done, so just you need to understand one thing here. So I am using what new keyword for the object creation. So 5 new objects are created. So behind the scenes, what is happening? What exactly is happening behind the scenes? Ideally, okay, you have collected the information from each and every employee as the owner of the company. You have collected information, right, by using a Java class which has 3 properties, and all the information has been stored in the form of what? Objects. Okay, you have how many objects created? How many objects has been created now? Okay, 5 objects has been created. Don't you think so? This object 1, object 2, object 3, and object 4, and at last we have object 5. 5 objects has been created for 5 employees. Okay, so each and every object is going to store the information of the respective employees. So the name of this object, and the name of this object is what, E2, and the name of this object is E3, the name of this object is E4, the name of this object is E5. Focus here, focus here. So this is E1, E1, so E2, and we have E3, and we have E4, and we have what, E5. E5, right? So the moment you create one object, the object is going to hold the values of instance variables. Yes or no? We have discussed these things so many times in the OOPS concepts. Okay, so how many properties we have in the employee class? How many properties we have in this employee class? We have 3 properties. One is name, second one is salary, and the third one is department. Yes or no? Name, salary, and department. Okay, so the E1 is going to hold the information related to Ratna, name, salary, as well as what else we have, department, right? Name, we have salary, and we have what, department. Okay, likewise, each and every employee object is going to hold the respective information that has been collected by the employer. Okay, so this is what, E2 object. Okay, and we have what, ET object. Let me copy and paste it really quick. And we have the E4 object, right? At last we have what, we have the E5 object. Okay, these are the typical information related to each and every object. Okay, the name of the objects are E1, E2, E3. And if I ask you the type of the object, if I ask you about the object names, you can say that okay, E1 object, this is a reference of E1, E2, E3, E4, E5. But if I ask you about the type of the object, you must say that the type of all the objects are same. How it is same? E1 is what? Is of what type? E1 is of employee type, E2 is of employee type. All the object references belong to the common type, which is what, employee type. Yes or no? Yes or no? So these 5 instructions, these 5 lines of code is doing what? Is doing what? Is creating a memory space in the behind the scenes in the system or in the RAM area, and all the information are stored like this. So we have just, don't focus on the values, focus on the object. Okay, so this value is stored in the name. Okay, if you see the value, also imagine that this value as a variable called what, the name, this value as a variable called the salary, this value as the variable called the department. Okay, now what we are going to do, how we can utilize arrays. Okay, so I have used how many objects here? I have used 5 objects here. Yes or no? 5 objects. I want to collect, I want to store all the 5 objects collectively into a single variable. Okay, I want to ensure that all these 5 objects, okay, for example, in the real time, okay, not nowadays, in the when I was getting my first job, I was asked to fill a form. Okay, and once the form is filled in a company, okay, I was giving an interview with the company and I was asked to fill the form, okay, to proceed with the requirement. Okay, and once the form is filled, okay, I need to submit this form to the HR. Okay, likewise, many job seekers, they fill every form, okay, and they submit it. Okay, after submitting, all these forms will be arranged in the orderly fashion, one after the another, after the another, one after the another, one after the another, and this all the forms gets pinned together, and they will be what, they will be put inside a particular file. I can say that all the forms, individual forms, are collected together, and they are protected by using a file. So just assume that this is a file. So this is called what, file. Okay. Likewise, if I want to store all the individual or all the independent object into a single entity, I can use arrays. Okay. Till yesterday, we were discussing about the arrays of collection of values like integer data type, and we have what numbers. So there were some numbers, yes or no? Right? But today we are going to understand not only the primitive types, you can also use the arrays to store the object types. When I say object types, just try to understand the type of the object. So when you consider, for example, when you consider the E1, E2, E3, E4, E5, you can say that they are reference variables. Try to identify the type. Okay, what type? What is the actual type of this E1, E2, E3, E4, E5? What is the actual type? Employee type. So I can create an array. I can create an array of what type? Employee type. Right? And I can give a name, my employees. Any name you can give. My employees equal to, I can do what? I can store all the references E1, E2, E3, E4, E5. It is just like each and every individual object references are collected. Okay? So each and every individual object references, okay, are collected. Okay, this is E1. Okay, this is what E2. Okay, and this is what E3. Right. This is what E4. Right. And we have what this is E5, my mistake. Okay, so it is saying it as E4. Let me correct this really quick. This is E4. Right. So all these objects are collected together into a single entity, and I can store each and every object once again in an array. Okay, what is the name of the array that I have just given? My employees. So this my employees will become the reference for all these independent objects. Okay. Okay. Now I have a variable name called my employees. My employees is of what type? An array type. Okay. This my employees is going to store the information about each and every employee. Or no? Each and every employee. Okay. Each and every employee. So E1, E2, E3, E4, E5. Okay. And each and every object, okay, each and every employee is representing an object. Each and every object, again internally, it has three pieces of information: name, salary, and the department. Are you getting this? First, objects are creating independently, okay, and I am collecting all the object references. Okay, I am collecting all the object references. I am putting it in an array. Can I conclude that the array is what? The collection of objects. Array is nothing but collection of objects of same type. Same type means, in our case, the type is employee type. Are you getting this? Are you able to visualize what we are trying to attempt? You can also consider this example, the file example. Okay, each and every paper. Okay, you submit the interview sheet to the recruiter. She collects the interview sheets from each and every individual, and she collates and keeps securely in a particular file. Okay, here the array is talking about the file. Getting this, yes or no? Are you getting this, the usage of array? Type something in the chat box. Are we good? Are we on the same page? Yashwant, Krishna Prasad, Samita, Jyoti. Okay, no. So now let us do this. What? Okay, let me go back to the program. Now what I'm doing it here. See guys, I'm taking employee array. Employee array. Okay, my employees. Because you have recruited some employees, so they are going to be your employees. I can use this to store E1, E2, E3, E4, E5, E5. Is it E5? Right? E5. Now what I'm going to do? Now see, now I can do a lot of I can write a lot of logics. Okay, if I want to fetch the particular employee whose name starts with R, I can do that by using for loop. If I want to fetch a particular employee whose salary is lesser than 1 lakh, I can fetch that. If I want to fetch a particular employee whose salary is greater than 1 lakh, I can fetch that. How can I achieve that? How can I achieve that? Okay, so let's see. Let us see what I'm doing it here. I'm using a for loop. Okay, for loop usually starts from integer. Okay, go back to the code. Go back to the code. Always remember to mark the indexes. Okay, so when you create an array, so the first thing that should be in your mind is that to mark the index numbers. Okay, don't forget this. This is 0th index, right? And this is first index. This is what second index. This is what the third one, and we have what the fourth one. Right, so I want to take a cursor. I want to take a cursor, or take a cursor or a pointer, something. Okay, so I want to iterate on each and every array. If I want to move this cursor and if I want to catch the values, or if I want to retrieve the values for the time being, I need to use the for loop. Okay, this for loop will make this cursor to run till a boundary. Okay, so this is how it will run. For loop has to start from 0 and it should end at 4. This is the boundary of the for loop. Okay, beginning first iteration should point to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, so that you can retrieve the respective values or respective data the moment it is pointing to the respective index. Okay, once it comes out, the for loop should what? It should be broken. Right, so I need a for loop. Yes or no? I need what? I need a for loop to start from what? Integer I equal to 0. It should run till where, guys? My employees dot length, right? Boundary. So I plus plus. Right? Now see what I am doing. So I'm running a for loop. Okay, I'm placing an if condition. If my employees of I dot get name, okay, equal to just just observe the code. What is happening? Okay, I'm saying if I find any name with by Ratna, I want to print it. I want to print these details. System dot out dot println, right? My employees I dot get name. Okay, so I'm not going to complicate this. I will explain this for you. So I want to get what? Get salary. Okay, I want to do what? I want to get department. Firstly, I want to collect. Okay, I want to do what? Okay, I will run the for loop on the respective array, and I want to check whether if there is any employee by the name of Ratna. Right? If there is any employee by the name of Ratna, I should fetch his, I should retrieve his details, or else there is no employee with such. Okay, let me run this code. Okay, see, okay, I should be using this. Let me do some changes. Break. If the condition satisfies, break, and some dot out dot println. Okay, not break, return this. Okay, now see what I'm trying to do. If I run this code, okay, I want to find if the name of the employee is present or not. If the name of the employee is present, I want to print is the salary information. I want to print is department information. Likewise, I want to find if the name of this employee is present or not. Jyoti. Okay, if the name of the employee is there, I want to print all the information related to the employee. Okay, I want to find the name of the employee. What? Ram. If the name of the employee is there, so information needs to printed, or else I need to print something to the console. What is that something? There is no such employee. Okay, so you are creating a for loop and you are using a condition. This condition is defining what? Okay, you are placing a condition in such a way that it is going to identify whether a particular employee is available, present or not. And the particular employee is present, it is going to print the relevant information. Right? The particular employee is not present, it is going to print this information. Okay, these are the things that you can achieve by using what? By using the loops and by using the arrays. Okay, and you can combinedly store all the data, and you can do a kind of a searching operation or the sorting operation. So many things you can do. The logic that I've been discussing for the last 7 days, just to understand how to write our own logic on top of objects. So numbers we are able to perform, numbers we are able to sort the numbers, or we are able to find the whether the target value is there or not. The same concept, the same logic, the same intuition. Okay, use for loop and use if conditions, and use the iterators and use if conditions to achieve whatever you want to require. Okay, now we are able to find the name. Okay, now I want to do what? The next thing is I want to print the employees whose salary is, let me remove this. Now you see the beauty. Get salary. If the name of the salary is lesser than 1, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000. Okay, I want to print the list of employees whose salary is lesser than or equal to what? 1 lakh. Okay, so I want to print the list of employees whose salary is, let us say I'm using a getter, get salary. Get salary is going to give the salary of each and every employee. It will be checked with this condition. Okay, after once the condition is satisfied, I want to print the name of these employees. What I want to print? Okay, let me run this code for the better understanding. So this is not getting executed, isn't it? Get salary. Let me do this. Okay. Vijaykanth's salary is 50,000, right? Should not get printed. Is there anything I miss here? Then or equal to 1 lakh. Employee I dot get salary. E1 dot get salary is lesser than or equal to. We do this. It's 10,000, guys. It's 10,000. Okay, I want to print the employee list of employees whose salary is greater than or equal to 1 lakh. So I'm not using specs. So see, Ratna, Jyoti, Samyukta, Shashwant and Samyukta. Are we good? Are we correct? It is able to fetch the respective details, right? I want to fetch the list of employees whose salary is lesser than or equal to 1 lakh. Can we do that? Ratna, Samyukta, Vijaykanth, because 1 lakh is also included. Okay. Ratna is earning 1 lakh, right? And Samyukta is also earning 1 lakh, and Vijaykanth is lesser than 1 lakh. So the condition is satisfied. Okay. So you can write a logic in such a way that you can retrieve the specific information if you want, accordingly. Okay, accordingly. So I want to do what? Now I want to do what? I want to get the list of employees department. How to print the name of the department. Okay, if the department is matching HR, okay, I want to print that the particular person who is holding the HR department. Okay, I want to list out the list of employee. I mean, I want to list what? I want to see who are the testers, which employee is taking care of testing job. I will give the tester here. Okay, we are getting the right employee name, Jyoti. Is there any other person who is doing the tester? Okay, if I add, okay, if I replace Vijaykanth with tester, okay, I should get Jyoti as well as I should get Vijaykanth. These are the employees who are doing the testing. I am able to fetch the respective values among this, among all this data. Are you getting what I am trying to say? Okay, if I have something like manager, if the manager, if that this particular department is not available, okay, I want to do what? I want to exit. Available, I want to exit. If not available, I want to print something in the console like the specified department is not available. Okay, let me see if it's working or not. Specified department is not, because it is not available. We have only software developer, okay, testers, senior software developer, junior software developer, and tester. Okay, let us say that Vijaykanth is also a manager. He has been appointed, he has got promoted to manager. Okay, so your doubt is, okay, how these things are getting executed behind the scenes. Okay, so the simple for loop, let me take the simple for loop. We will go with this example. Okay, this is simple for loop. Okay, the for loop that we have defined here is going to do what? Okay, the basic functionality of the for loop is to start from 0, okay, and it will stay there, and again it gets incremented to 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. When this is happening, okay, there is a conditional check, yes or no? There is a conditional check. Okay. The conditional check says it is going to point each and every employee object, right? So it is pointing E1 object. Okay, my employees I is what? The beginning I is going to be 0, yes or no? Beginning I is going to be 0, so the cursor is going to point at the index 0, which has the object E1, is inside, and we are trying to do what? We are trying to fetch the department name. What is the name of the department in the object E1? Software engineer. Do you agree? Software developer. Okay. Now this software developer will be compared with manager. Is it matching? Not matching. It is not matching. So this if block will be skipped. Okay, and the second iteration will follow. What is the index? Index is what? 1. Right? Now again the if condition. Okay, so in the if condition, okay, employee 2 object will be retrieved in the employee 2, and it will try to fetch the what? It will try to get the department inside the E2 object, which is tester. This tester will be compared to what? Manager. Is it matching? Not matching. Keep the if condition. Okay, then jump to the iterate to the next position, which is 2. Now the index is 2. Okay, 2 means which employee object? E3 object. Again, inside these 3, it will try to get the department. What is the department? Senior software developer. Right? Not matching. So if condition will be skipped. Okay, and then 4. Right? E4. In the E4 object, it will try to find the get department. What is the department name? Junior software developer. Is not matching with the manager. Right? And again, it has to be proceeded to what? E5. In the E5, the index is 4. Yes or no? This index is 4. We try to fetch the get department HR. In this case, it is HR, but in our example, What we have taken in an example, we have just manipulated the thing, we have taken it as manager, isn't it? Okay, let me keep this as manager. Let me change this to manager. Okay, because Vijaykanth has been promoted to manager. Just for the imagination purpose, I'm saying all this. Okay, don't have an illusion that okay, you're going to be in junior software or senior software tester, something. Just a kind of example. Okay, don't take it serious, huh? Don't take it personally. So now the manager is matching manager. Okay, when the condition matches, okay, the block of the code that is inside the block has to get executed. Okay, what we are trying to execute, we are trying to get the name. We are trying to get the name of the particular object. Okay, the cursor is pointing to the E5 object. Okay, in the E5 object, what is the name that we have? Vijaykanth. That will be printed in the console. Okay, that will be printed in the what? Printed in the console. Okay, once it is printed in the console, what we are doing? The next statement is what? Return. Return means okay, exit from the method. Exit from the method itself. Okay, that's why we got what? We got what? We are able to see Vijaykanth in the console. Do you find any difficulties with my explanation? Are you getting this? What I'm trying to convey? Is it making sense? It's all about the iterations and it's all about the conditions, if condition. Okay, so when you think about the object, okay, so it is not just an E1, guys. Okay, it is not just a E1 or E2 or E3. It is not like that. The E1 and again E1 is what? E1 is holding three set of values: name, salary, and software developer. Okay, you are storing values inside this object, and all these objects are collected together into a single entity, and you're placing it in what? By using an array. An object is stored within an object again. A big object array. So this array is designed in such a way that it is going to store the collection of independent objects of same type, not different type, same type. After storing that, okay, since we have 5 employees, we are able to retrieve. We can do so many things in our program. So many things can be done. You can fetch the names. You can add some categories like gender. You can add. You can fetch the female employees separately. You can fetch the male employees separately. You can add so many information in the properties, right? As the variables in the variable part, you can add so many information like location. You can add. In our class, how many variables are there? We have only 3 variables. You can add 10 set of variables, and you can have 20 or 100 employees. In the real time, you will be able to fetch the values of each and every employee according to the necessity. Okay, to understand this piece of line, okay, we have seen so many problems for the last 5 days, like searching problem, the sorting problem. You can also sort. The name. You can also sort the salary. You can also do a lot of things. You can also use the binary search to fetch the name. So that was the sample idea to understand this. Okay, so by this I can conclude that okay, the concept of array is over. Arrays are over. Officially we have completed discussing